You know, whether you realize it or not, you're actually using JavaScript right this second. Yep, it's the invisible engine that powers pretty much everything you do online. Every click, every scroll, every single interaction. But what if I told you that the very thing that builds the web we love is also one of its biggest threats? See, here's the twist. This incredibly useful, creative tool has this hidden dark side. The same language that brings websites to life can be totally weaponized, turning a tool of creation into an instrument of, well, chaos. And that's really the core question we're going to dig into. How on earth does JavaScript, the fundamental builder of the web, become a hacker's favorite weapon for tearing it all down? To really get it, we've got to step into the shoes of an attacker, what the cybersecurity world calls the red team. We're going to look at how they use JavaScript to go on the offense.
The main weapon in their arsenal is something called cross-site scripting, or XSS. Now, the concept is deceptively simple. An attacker manages to inject their own malicious bit of JavaScript into a website that you totally trust. Your browser, well, it doesn't know any better, so it just executes that script. And that is when the real damage begins.
So what can they actually do? Well, for starters, they can just steal your data. This little snippet of code right here, it's designed to snatch your session cookies. Think of these cookies as your digital passport for a website. This code basically tells your browser, hey, send a copy of that passport over to the attacker's server. And just like that, they can impersonate you and get into your accounts. And oh, it gets way more invasive. This line of code here creates what's called a keylogger. It's basically a digital eavesdropper that records every single key you press on that web page. Passwords, credit card numbers, private DMs, you name it. And it sends all of it, in real time, straight to the attacker. The deception can get even more sophisticated. An attacker can use JavaScript to completely change the page you're looking at. This script, for instance, can whip up a fake login form that looks absolutely identical to the real one. You type in your username and password, thinking you're safe, but you're actually just handing them over directly to the attacker. It's a nasty technique called UI redressing, faking the user interface to trick you. But the damage can go way beyond just theft. What you're looking at here is JavaScript-based ransomware. This isn't about stealing your data anymore. It's about destroying it. This code can actually encrypt the files on your computer, holding them completely hostage until a ransom is paid. Scary stuff. So as you can see, these attacks escalate, and they escalate fast. It might start with just grabbing some information, but the end goal is often much, much bigger. It's about total control. And this is where it gets truly dangerous. If an attacker can get a script like this to run in, say, an administrator's browser, they can literally create a secret, hidden admin account for themselves. This gives them a permanent backdoor into the system, a key to the whole digital kingdom, letting them do whatever they want, completely undetected. Now, you might be thinking this is all the work of some lone hacker in a basement writing individual scripts. But the reality? It's much more organized. There's a whole ecosystem of professional-grade tools out there, all built with JavaScript. I mean, just look at some of these. Pound.js is like a Swiss Army knife for hackers, a whole framework for tons of different attacks. Brosec, that automates making malicious code, so it's easier than ever to launch an attack. And tools like Netcat are used for spying and pulling data out. This isn't just a random collection of scripts, it's a full-blown professional arsenal. Okay, so that was the dark side. Pretty grim. But for every attacker, there's a defender. So let's flip the script and see how cybersecurity professionals, the blue team, use JavaScript to fight back. This right here really captures that duality we're talking about. The red team uses JavaScript to exploit weaknesses and steal data, right? Well, the blue team uses the exact same language to detect those threats, to analyze the malicious code, and even to set traps for the attackers. So how do they actually do it? Well, one way is with tools like JAST. It's built to analyze JavaScript and spot malicious patterns. See, attackers often try to disguise their code through a process called obfuscation. It just scrambles everything to make it unreadable. JAST is engineered to see right through those disguises and flag the threat. And then you have these really clever, proactive strategies. A honeypot is a brilliant idea. It's a decoy, a fake system that looks totally real and vulnerable. It's designed to attract attackers, and when they take the bait, the blue team can watch their every move in a safe, contained sandbox, learning all their techniques to build even stronger defenses. Defenders also use tools like NodeMim.
This lets them basically simulate attacks on their own applications. By intercepting and faking network connections, they can test how their software holds up against different kinds of threats without any real-world risk. It's kind of like having a sparring partner for your code. So, we've seen both sides of the coin, JavaScript as the sword and JavaScript as the shield, which brings us to the much bigger picture here.
The most crucial thing to understand is that this isn't a problem with some simple final solution. Cybersecurity is a perpetual arms race. The red team develops a new attack, the blue team builds a new defense, and the cycle just keeps going. And JavaScript, because it's so powerful and so universal, is the battlefield where a huge part of this war is waged. And that leaves us with a really critical question. In this endless digital tug of war, who's actually winning the battle for the web? The creators or the destroyers? The answer, well, it's not simple at all, and it's a question that is absolutely going to define the future of our digital lives.